Hello. The first big Plasticity release of 2025 is looming just on the horizon and approaching us very quickly. Now in this video I want to cover some of the upcoming features that are currently in beta that are going to affect how you use and interact with Plasticity. We're going to start off by looking at the redesign of the UI and how that affects the user experience. And then we're going to look at some of the modeling features that will allow you to create unique shapes and tweak those highlights and use Plasticity with even more power than before. Welcome to Take Refuge 3D. If you're new, welcome, and if not, then welcome back. Now, if you've got an active studio license, you can access these features now. And you can download that from the Plasticity Discord. But if you haven't tried Plasticity or you're still in your trial period, you can get your 30 days free trial, and after that, and if you love it like I do, you can use my coupon code REFUGE10 to get a 10% discount off any Plasticity license. So you can get the indie license or the studio license, 10% off. You get a discount, the channel gets a small commission, and everybody wins. Woohoo. So let's have a look at what we can look forward to in the next stable release of Plasticity. So as you can see, the UI has changed. So if we quickly go back and look at the old Plasticity UI, this is what we have. So we got our hierarchy on the left hand side. We've got this panel here and our toolbar here. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, and we've got this guy here which we can click on. Okay, so if we go over to the new UI, you'll see that there are some differences. The toolbar is now on the left hand side, but you can swing it over to the right hand side, and you'll notice that this panel that's on the right hand side is now collapsible menus. So what you can do with these is you can have as many of them open as you need, and then you can close them again. So you can hide your custom matte caps and just have the inbuilt ones in, or you can have all your custom matte caps there as well. And another cool feature is these also kind of operate like menus. So that's a menu like that. It pops down, and then when you click away, it pops off. Right. So if you hold down one of these, you can now just wiggle around and let go, and it then auto collapses. So it saves you 1 2 3 clicks. So that is a lot of clicks. That's an RSI saver if I ever saw one. So that's really cool. So that's one thing. What you'll notice here, we've got outliner and assets now. So if we just go into seeing our colors, if we just look at the outliner, it's pretty much the same as before. Our assets, we can name our materials. What we can also do is we can right click a material and we can go select all with this material. So if you've got like a really big scene with thousands of screws, this could be really handy to select all the screws if you wanted to make some changes or something like that. So that's cool. Now let's have a look at the P menu. So now we've got our recent files, and if we look at our recent files, they've actually got thumbnails now, which is great. Like, this is just awesome. It means you can quickly open a recent file. You don't have to go digging around for it. You can see roughly what was there. And then if we go into our preferences, I might just bring this over to the side and just select all of our faces and toggle my points on. You can see that this is got quite a lot of control vertex points. So if we go to our preferences now, we can actually change the size of our control points and things like that, and also our edges. I've got it set to 3 pixels, which is a little bit fatter, I think, than what Plasticity was before, but having these control points really big is really good for me. You might want them tiny, but before I found them a little bit hard, and that's great as well. So Also in preferences, I believe we can now choose a custom color for our grid. I've got it set to this light blue to sort of match my scene. It's a little thing, but it's a nice thing. So there's that. Also in the UI, we've always had our F menu, which we can search from, right? So we can, search for, I don't know, delete redundant topology or something like that. But it's also there. You can click on it there now. And what we also have now is if we select something, we've got this context menu here. So they've removed some of the things like revolve, or I can't remember what was down in this bottom bar, but there was quite a lot of different commands in this bottom bar. They're now in this 3-dot menu, but you can also pull this by pressing Shift F, so it'll anywhere on the screen. So a little bit like quick favorites in Blender, but curated for you. So that's a great new feature as well. Like I said, you can move the toolbar. With our matte caps, I did mention this in a previous video, but with this one and this one, we can now change the amount of stripes on this blue one here, which is cool. It helps you visualize things, and on this one we can change the angle of the colors until we get into the minuses. I didn't realize that you could do that. Anyway, so that's cool. That's something that you can do. That's going to be new. Another cool feature, which was really requested a lot. By the way, these side panels, we can put them to the side like that, so you don't have to have them up. They can be hidden away, nice and easy. So another feature that was requested a lot was section analysis. It's got its own button here. So if we click on section analysis, right, we can now drag this through, and if you've got a hollow object like this aerial on this walkie-talkie is, you can then go inside it. So this would be great for all sorts of reasons, doing interiors of vehicles and things like that. And you can see that this one's solid and this one's hollow. So it also gives you visual feedback on what's solid and what's hollow. So, and you can pull it all the way down. And if you select multiple faces, it will select the average normal. So you'll see that that gives us an average normal there of that. So we've now got, we can see inside there. Or if we select this one, and this one, and then do section analysis, we get a different angle. So that's really cool. This has gone through a few iterations, and I think it's looking really nice now. It was a little bit janky in the earlier betas, but I think, like, even like how it just shows you with the visual feedback the colors. So this pink and this blue, I just think that's really cool. Anyway, that's section analysis. There's going to be heaps and heaps of uses for it. And I think that's it to do with the UI. So let's go and have a look at some of the modeling features. So the first one, you might not be able to see, but when I orbit, there's a purple dot where the orbit point is. So if I middle click to orbit, because I'm using Blender controls, this this purple dot shows what I'm orbiting around. So that can be handy to prevent you from getting lost when you're orbiting something. So if I select this object and I'm orbiting around it, I can see what I'm actually orbiting around is that purple dot. So that's really cool. And let's just hide everything for a second and have a look at some of these new modeling tools. So if we just, by the way, I made a radial builder, if you didn't see any of my recent videos, which is this little application here. Okay, so you can build your own radial menus. You can put lots of things in the radial menu here, and you can swap them around. You can add a we can delete items, and we can add nested menus as well. So this is something that you can buy on my Gumroad. I've done a few videos on it. Matt, also from Learning Everything About Design, did a video on it and explained it better than I did. So this is something that you can do and buy, and it's just an easy way rather than having to edit your JSON files. A couple of things that I've added recently is the ability to give a custom label to something. So if we select an item and we want to change this to just middling like that, right, we can change the names like that, and we can also toggle the preview, right? So this JSON preview here, if we just move this to the side, will live update as we move things around. And you know, you want to set an alternative icon, right? You can just click on set alternative icon and it'll change there. So you can see the JSON update in real time. So go check it out if that's something that you'll be interested in. It's $5 and it's on Gumroad now. Okay, back to the video. So one really cool thing, if we take out a corner box here, is we can pull this box up here, and now when we go into object mode and we rotate V, and then we set a pivot like this by pressing V, okay, we can rotate that around. Okay, but now when we want to rotate that again, the pivot is exactly where it was where we left it. So this could get really cool, is if it, for example, you were building a robot, right? So now when we rotate these, they're pivoting where they should. So this is really cool. This is a really super cool feature, and hopefully at some point we'll be able to keep those pivots and maybe transfer them to Blender. Wink wink, nod nod. I hope that gets added to the Blender bridge, but I don't have my hopes up, but it would be cool. Now moving along, we've got if we open up our panel again, we'll just take those back, and I'm just going to do a raise degree command here. Okay, and if we go into 1 and we've got our point mode, if we come down here to snapping, we'll notice that we've got a new snapping object snaps. So we've got the control point snaps. So if we just press 5 and have all of those, and if I GG, and then I can actually see that it's saying center CV, edge CV. So I'm actually snapping that point there to the CV, to the control vertex. So that's a really, really cool new feature, and will be really, really handy, especially for like fine placement of certain objects. You might want to snap the corner of a object with a CV to the corner of another object, and that's going to be super handy as well. So look, this has all been pretty straightforward so far. So the next one's really cool, and it's studio license only. It's for XNBS and Square, or XNBS and Square XNBS. Okay, so let's just take out a cylinder. Okay, and I'm just going to pull this up. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller actually, and we'll just give this a like that. Okay, so, and then I'm going to go into top mode. I'm going to take out a rectangle, and we're just going to make a square. Press S to constrain it to a square. Okay, and I'm just going to press Shift I to imprint. Okay, let's just get rid of this curve, and now we've got this square here. So now if we run our XNBS command, okay, and we change it to quad sided, we've got this new option for tension and flatness. Okay, so this is if we do it with square and we go G2 and we just change our spans in degrees. Okay, and then we look at our tension, we can really push this up, which is going to be really cool to make some cool new shapes. And then we can join that together. So we've got this now, and I've already used this. If I just hide this and unhide everything and hide this again, I use this to make these buttons here like this as well. And then another cool new modeling feature is slide. I'm just going to reduce these spans in degrees down a little bit. Okay, so we've got this here, and now if we go into point mode, we can actually see our, I'm just going to change the matte cap. Okay, we can see this here. So if we were grabbing our CVs before, we were able to move them around like this to create shapes like, you know, G, Z, stuff like that. Now what we can do is we can press Shift G and we got slide. Okay, and now we can use this little yellow guy, and it pulls everything out on their normal, right? So you can do that and pull right out on the normal, and then you can use the normal grab and you can move them down. So this is going to be really cool for making shapes as well. So now we've got this cool shape using slide, and we can just join those together, and that's really cool. So just quickly going back over that again, all I did, if we just go into point mode, all right, I grabbed 4 points like that. I press Shift G and I grab this yellow guy. Look, I can do this, can squash that in. So this is really great for making organic shapes, and it's just adding to what you can already do with XNBS and with obviously raised degree. Like obviously this is not a studio only feature. This one will be in the indie license as well, and we can just make a really cool shape, right? So I've got this cool shape. So there you go. And look, that's about it. I think the new release will be coming soon. I don't think there's that many new features going to be planned before the new release comes out, and I'll do a full overview. I have noticed a couple of bugs still, so hopefully those get ironed out before the full release comes out. Don't forget you can get your 10% discount on any Plasticity license with the code REFUGE10, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Tschüss!